So like with that, I was like really trying to make sure that I was being articulate too, because on the TikTok, you just rap, you just having fun. Like I had no idea like it was going to turn into all that. So I was like, oh, whatever it is, we having fun. Because I actually messed up my verse on the TikTok, the TikTok video. And so when they asked me to, nobody knows, but I knew.
Yeah.
And so they asked me to re-record it, so I had to make sure that I was, articulating right, so they could hear hopefully you could hear every word I'm saying. But so I had to do that. But I think just kind of reflecting on everything, I just really see like God's hand, because over the summer I got a word from God, and basically he just told me to prepare because things was going to happen and to expect some new things. And so me being me, I was like, okay, sure, it's going to be like 5 years from now, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, God, you've been telling me this for how long, God? Like, okay, like for real though, because I'm like, I've been getting these words, I'm just like, Lord, like, okay, any day now.
Lordy, we like to party, the party, the party.
We like to party. And welcome back to the show, the Personal Pizza Party Show. If this is our first time meeting, I'm Jada, your host, the creative Chicago native who absolutely, really, like for real, loves America's favorite breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. What is that? Pizza. New things are happening on the show. One, we have timestamps. So if you want to skip ahead to a certain section of the video, that makes it really easy for you. So check that out. Two, Personal Pizza Party Show is now on TikTok and Twitter. And you know what? Actually, scratch that though. First things first, are you subscribed though? Like, if you're not, you definitely should. You should also hit us up on Instagram. We have a little fun there, and it's also an easy way that you can reach out to any of the guests on the show. Any of them will be happy to chop it up with you in the comments. Today's guest is someone I've had the privilege of seeing grow over the past few years. I first heard her music in 2016, but if you recently heard of her, it may have been through Andy Minio's Jason Pull-Up Challenge, which landed her on the official remix.
She's next legs from the city of sin and Guinness. I'm back to the record, better recognize. I recognize high, watching from the skybox. Our box, prettiness, her readiness on my block. Hard knocks, cause she got hot like rock.
She did that. But if you've been in tune a bit longer, you might know her as the woman behind the social community that promotes women in CHH and Christian music, known as FEMENDOUS. With all of that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited to introduce to you singer, songwriter, producer, graphic designer, digital creator, the one and only L3XDIVINE, y'all. She's this, she's that, she's all of the above.
I'm this, I'm that, I'm all of the above.
She's dope, she's talented, she has a unique approach to her music and her visuals. But let me show you better than I can tell you. Watch this.
Like Nacho Ignacio, okay, so I know I am a force, I am in air. I stay high cause I'm under his wings. First class like a preschooler, and I stay on time, glued to my seat. Mary clearance up in these streets. How many fights did I lose? I say none. That was a bar, and if you don't get it, you don't watch Sister Act, or you're not listening. But check out my fitness, my spirit got abs. I'm packing, y'all shouldn't like shake. When I'm feeling unsure, I visit the shake. Yeah, I will look lavish and gold like I'm Solomon. God made me swell like I swallow me whole. I body these trolls and I make them my ottoman. I am
so that was L3XDIVINE giving you everything you never knew you needed. Before we hop into the show, let's get into this pizza. You already know I have to bring in my co-host. Today we have a much lighter fare because sometimes less is more. We have margarita pizza, y'all. As you know, this show pairs very well with your favorite pizza. So grab a slice. This is episode 9 with L3XDIVINE. Enjoy. This one is the most important question, okay?
Okay.
That I've been dying to know, okay? Probably since when I first got your email or something and I saw how you spelled your name. So can you please tell us that how you came up with the spell of your name? And I'm not talking about Lex Divine, because I have never seen anybody spell Lexi with a C.
Oh my gosh.
Ever.
So you mean my actual nickname? So my real name is not Lexi. My real name is Alexis, and my middle name starts with a C. So what I did was I spelled it phonetically. So I was like Lex and then C, and I just put it together, and I just thought it was like really cool. So I was like, I'm rolling with this. I think I was like, I don't know, 11 or something like that when I decided I wanted to switch out the I and put the C there. So yeah.
Wow. Because I have to say, like, when I first saw that, I was like, wow, she's like really different, because I have never seen anybody spell Lexi any different than the two ways that people spell it.
Yeah. And you know what? I really feel like I started that because like nobody was doing that, you know what I'm saying? And then like when people started to see like at my school and stuff that I had changed my name like that, then all of a sudden I started seeing it, and I was just like you never know, there are some minds that think alike and all this other stuff. So, but I still feel like they copy from me, but it's all good.
Okay. I just wanted to ask that, but to get to the actual music question, this year you have dropped 3 songs, Solid, Caption This, and Wake Up. And most recently, you won the challenge for the Jackson Pollock, is that how you pronounce it? Challenge with Andy Mineo. And so now you're on the remix.
Yes.
And so it's been like a good year, right?
Yes, it's been really, really good.
So with what you've done so far with these songs, like, is there like a central message or like anything specific that you want listeners to like know about you, or just know in general?
Well, I really want my listeners to just pay attention to the message. I think my messages in this time has just been like, of course, repent, right? It's very important to just like repent from whatever it is that you're doing that God does not approve of. Like, repent, understand what He's requiring from you, and work towards, being a true servant of Christ. That's always in all of my messages. But just with a lot of the things that were happening in the world, why I did caption this was just to like, help people understand like, hey, there's so many different narratives. And the main narrative that we need to be paying attention to is that, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. There's wickedness and rulers. There's stuff in high places. Like, my music points people to like the heavenly realms. It points them to where the real battle is. Even with God Solid, like, it's just like, everybody's freaked out about COVID and just like all this stuff. It's like, if we truly believe that God is in control of all, if we believe in Psalms 91, then like we're set, we're solid, we're straight, and I'm not impacted by anything, even if I get sick, even if, it's just like, but God's still in control, and that needs to be our weight. And so, yeah, I would say a lot of my music just kind of like centers people, or kind of refocuses people back to Christ, like where your thought process should be, where your focus should be. And that's on like not the way the world conveys things, but the way that the heavenly realms, the way our Bible teaches us what's really at work, what's really at stake, So yes. As long as my listeners are really grasping that concept, then they're understanding who I am as a person, because that's how I move. So that's me. I'm super spiritual, but spiritual as in like Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying, is the way. Like, submission to Christ, obey Christ. Like, I'm down for holiness, like, all that stuff. Like, that's my life. And I make sure that spills into my music. So I want people to get that, like, okay, like, she's challenging us to live how God expects us to live, by His standard, not our own, from heart to mind and, to your soul. So, yeah.
One thing that was really interesting to me, because I just listened to your interview on The Fix, shout out to them.
Yeah, well, that's family.
But I was really surprised when you said that some of your songs from last year, like I Ain't Convinced, and I don't know if you would put You Did It in that category, but I was really, really loving both of those songs. But I know at least for I Ain't Convinced, you said that you were kind of like making music like how everybody else does, like with the trap beat and whatnot. And so, like, would you say that these 3 songs from this year are at least sonically like more kind of like authentic to like your true sound?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say I'm definitely not a trap artist, though I love the style of it and I like the playfulness of trap. And it definitely stretches me creatively. And it's really fun to rap over. But as far as like my style, like, yeah, I'm hip hop, like all day, ethereal, those are like, that's like my signature sound, unique, So yeah, and I produced Caption This and Wake Up. So like, yeah, that's kind of like pretty much like my style, So yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely enjoy like the sound of that too. And I'm thinking about Colorism too, because I love that song and how you went into the vocals at the end. Like that was very unexpected. So like I be liking stuff that's not like, like status quo or whatever.
Status quo. Yeah.
And
That's a good one. Good word, status quo. Yeah, it's like it can definitely be trendy, you know what I'm saying? But right now there's always a style of music that's more dominant than others,
Yeah.
So it's definitely less dominant, but I feel like it can still definitely be trendy as long as like Kendrick Lamar is like trending. Like there's room for people like me. So it's like it works, yeah. Or like a JID or who else? J. Cole. Like as long as they're like, in there somewhere, like I'm straight.
I hope that people don't find this weird when I do this, but I asked my guests about like their tweets and stuff because I just find it interesting to see like what their thoughts are, like what's behind the tweet and if they want to expound on it at all. Okay. So you had a lot of tweets to choose from.
But that's funny. I don't even really be tweeting like that for real, but that's funny.
You said this. I used to call God the big homie. My word, I'm gonna keep it PG. And I know that I did this out of ignorance. It took purity in my mind and real reverence to understand that my Lord and Savior is far from my N-word and more than my big homie. He is my friend. He is Elohim. Yeah. So kind of like, can you unpack that for us and just like your process of how you obviously like came into like a much deeper relationship with God?
Yeah, I think how it started was, first of all, I was ratchet. I think we all was ratchet, right?
Yes.
So like I was, I don't want to say that I'm a hood girl. Like I grew up in the hood. Like I grew over all. Oh, okay. I grew up over.
I thought that was here.
That's our smoke alarm. Sometimes it like beeps and we gotta like turn it off or whatever. But I don't consider myself like, where I'm like from the hood, woo woo, but I mean, I do have hood qualities, you know what I'm saying? So like I did hood rat things with my friends, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And so like, like when I got saved, there was a lot to my character, a lot to my personality that I adopted that Christ was like, I did not make you this way. So I had to like come out of agreement with the way that I spoke, the way that I walked, the way that the way that I presented myself, even down to the way that I dressed. And my language, was in that same category. So I would say that like, it was a point where my understanding was like, oh yeah, like, like God, that's my G, that's the homie, woo, woo, woo. Like still having like this worldly, you know what I'm saying? Like understanding of like, and it's okay because you're trying to figure out how you relate to God, you're trying to figure it out. But God is just like, you have no idea like who I am. So I'm going to show you. Right. I have to show you who I am. I have to show you exactly where I am versus where you are, and how, and like the aspect of royalty, like, you know, even down to like what the throne room looks like, and you know what I'm saying, like how they describe it in Revelations. It's like, he is more than royalty. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to him like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just imagine like when you sit down with like what are they called? I can't think of the word, but like they're definitely royalty. You know, you sit down with them and there's a certain type of etiquette you have to have, you know, and you have to know where the fork goes and where the knife goes and how to use the glass and, you know, what spoon to use. Just imagine like being in that type of setting and like how nervous you are, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, if you have that type of understanding of just like, you know, royalty, you know, in the world, like you have no idea like what it's really like with man and God, you know? And so I think I think what I experienced was just that he completely changed everything to the point where I was getting knots in my stomach if I said things that I wasn't supposed to say, if I did things I wasn't supposed to do. It was like an instant like a knot in my stomach, like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And I learned how to walk by the conviction of the Holy Spirit, and I learned how to obey God. I learned how to reverence God. I learned how to worship God, not in my own way, you know, and I just learned more about him and got closer to him. And I just noticed that everything about me just began to change. So yeah, and my verbiage, it changed. Like I was just like, yo, I'm glad that I have, you know, a better understanding of, you know what I'm saying, of my father. Cause like looking back is like, that was so disrespectful, but I'm not necessarily condemning people, because there's just so many levels of understanding that has to be, you know, challenged and broken and, you know, and all that stuff. Like, so no diss, but it's just like, we do have to get to that point where it's like, we have to know who God really is, and our verbiage and our lifestyle have to match, you know, match. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and like when you were talking, you just made me think about like in the Bible how just people in the Old Testament, like when they would like see like God or like be in his presence, like they would like tremble in fear and be like, oh my gosh, like God, like I can't like, you know, exist in your presence, you know, like because it's so overwhelming. And then I think about like how like maybe like just moments that I've been at church and like you just start like crying, like because you know, like
The
or
glory.
people have other reactions, like people fall out, like you know,
Yeah,
like the presence of God, like it's like you know, like we literally can't take it.
Yeah, like the word says that he destroys the enemy with the splendor of his coming. So when you look up splendor, it's like the beauty, the beautiness, the essence, the magnificence of God, just the beauty of him. It destroys the enemy. And I was just sitting here like, yo, like that's intense. You mean to tell me his beauty just destroys the enemy? Like and I still haven't necessarily wrapped my mind around that, you know what I'm saying? But it's like we have no idea, like,
Yeah.
But we're all coming into, you know, an understanding.
FEMENDOUS is an Instagram page that highlights just faith-based artists, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Women, yeah. and like hip hop and just like Christian music.
Christian pop, R&B, Christian R&B, you know, yeah. Bloggers, just graphic designers, basically any woman within the arts who are Christian, I try to highlight them. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, is there anything specific that you've learned through creating and cultivating that community?
I think more so it's just like just consistency. Like I've seen the power of consistency, and that's something I'm just like not good at when it comes to that page. But I've definitely learned that. I've definitely learned just how passionate women are. I'm not going to say that the guys aren't passionate, but I feel like there's more of a realness with the women and stuff that I encounter in CHH, and like just the way that they persevere. I don't know. I guess I just learned that there's just more of a passion or something even down to their message. I was just like, yeah, like, you know, you don't really hear too many women like kind of, you know, frolicking around with the lyrics and, you know, kind of stretching the avenues of it or like that. No, they seem pretty serious. I've learned that. I've learned that they definitely support each other. Like when I go and I follow an artist, I'll see that like all of them are like all following each other. Yeah, you know, so it's like I see like that they were trying to build community too within themselves. And yeah, I really just been trying to just like highlight. So I can't say that I've learned too much of anything, but what I have noticed are those things. And I think the girls too, I think they really need a community like that where they're getting the recognition and that people are looking out for them and want to support them and want to help them, you know, gain more exposure and stuff. And I don't know, they just seem really nice about it and very supportive. And so it's been really cool so far.
Yeah, and then I just thought about, I think this was another really tweet from the FEMENDOUS page, but you said that like people aren't going to like music outlets for new artists. Yeah. So like it's up to like the artists to like promote other artists. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yep, that's exactly what I said. Yeah, I noticed that like of course like Rapzilla, Jam the Hype, Track Stars, like they're all established, but like there are a lot of new up and coming. I think The Fix too has been doing really good too, like with their numbers and stuff. But there are a lot of new like you know, platforms and stuff like FEMENDOUS that are coming up, and their following is like really small. And you know, a lot of people, you know, like they say CHH is small, and it is, but like the demographic is so much bigger, and we're not reaching it, you know. And so it is.
Not to say come on, because I feel that too. I just want to say really quick, people like, oh, that's not that many. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's so many. I feel big. Like maybe like we're just used to seeing the same like 5 faces.
We are
or whatever. Like
yeah, like it transcends past hip hop. Like when you look into like Christian R&B, like that's a whole other like realm of music, like a whole nother audience. Like it's just so crazy. And when you look at people like Andy Mineo, you look at people like Atla Craze, like, yo, where is these 1.3 million followers? Where is these 6,699, you know, thousand followers at? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like their numbers are proof that like the demographic is big. It's just that for somehow, some way, there's just like this cut or something to where like everybody is not being seen, to, you know, in a way that they really could be. And so what happened was I put a sister on my page, and somebody was like, yo, if you would have never posted her, like I would have never known about her. And it just kind of hit me like, yo, just imagine if we really supported each other, like honestly, like really put like, yo, check out this person, not just our labels, not just our like, do that too, you know what I'm saying? Put your label mates on, but like really start supporting other up and coming artists. Like, you know, it's just a whole story with that. But yeah, I noticed that, and I was just like, yo, like we gotta start, like at least the newcomers, we have to be the ones to kind of like shift and change the culture, you know, and kind of undo like all this warish type of stuff that's been going on within CHH, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yes, and one more thing I wanted to add to that was you were talking about the demographic, and I feel like it gets even larger when you include women, and not even just like the artists who are women, but like the fans who are women as well.
Yep. Yeah, well, I did a research, and women are the top consumers in Christian hip hop music, or Christian music, sorry. So they're the top consumers. So yeah, and I don't think we outnumber men anymore in the world. I think men have outnumbered us by maybe 2% now. I'm not sure. But like we are the top people that's buying and consuming the content. So yeah, like we definitely have some power with that, with like networking with them and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to mention too was the partnership that you had with ARTSO Indulge. and the boot camp, which like I wish I didn't miss, but it was so many things happening this past Saturday. Like I feel like it was like I knew of like 2 other things and another conference like on that day. But
yeah, I know
like
Flavor Fest had one too, right? This past weekend, Flavor Fest had one or something.
I don't know. I think I missed that one too. I don't know if I knew about that one. It's so hard to keep up now. Like, but yeah, like can you talk about just like the partnership? I know you have a relationship with Trisha Bell, the founder and stuff. Because I know y'all gave away like some free tickets too. Yeah, and just like, can you tell me too, like, how did it go? Like, how did it turn out?
Wow. Yeah. So okay. So let me start from the beginning. So Trisha Bell, really quickly, I met her at a concert in Vegas, and she kind of like spoke some life into me and was like, "Yo, like you're really good. Like you should continue to do rap." And fast forward, I ended up running into her at Legacy, and I was like, "Hey, I'm doing what you suggested. Just want to let you know, took your advice." And so we just kind of stayed in contact, and I learned about her. And I learned about her, her desire for the female creatives. I learned about her story, all the things that she has accomplished, and just her heart in general, just to see women creatives, but also creatives in general, just thrive. So when she brought the boot camp to me, she brought it up to me because, we all were like interested in the same things, like me, her, Catalina. She was just throwing ideas our way. It was like, what you think about this and stuff like that. So the coming together of it was just from her passion and our passion too. Like it helped, like, basically kind of like fuel it a little bit or something. And so she ended up putting me on the board of it, or the back end of it. And we just had meetings, through some ideas back and forth. She gave me some tasks and made me the host in certain parts. And, it went really, really well. I think we spent, I don't know how many months, I can't even think, probably was a year. I don't even know. It's been a couple of years, probably just like thinking, trying to get sponsors, trying to get everything together. But it actually turned out amazing. Like, even just the switch from her old logo to her new logo that was done by Timmy Cocker. I hope that's how you say his name. Cocker. I don't know how to say his name, but
that sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's a really known designer, Christian designer, graphic designer. But like, she just was just evolving, and I did some social media management to like promote the Excel Bootcamp. So I was doing the posting, highlighting the women, because that's something I'm really like, I was very intentional about when I started even before I started Feminist, I was like, I know there's more women here. I'm about to just start finding them and just writing names. So I just had lists and lists of like female artists and stuff. So we were like flooding her time, her grid with female artists, and just preparing that momentum to get people to get involved. And the turnout was amazing. We had so many different artists like talk about so many different things, from production to how to have a right relationship with the manager, how to be successful on YouTube, sensory sounds, like, how to like using loop machines, and how to be a graphic designer, and, what inspires you to even create, the art of painting, and just like so many different classes. And it was like 12 hours long. But like when I say that we were all just there from top to bottom, like 12, especially the people who bought the tickets, from 12 hours straight, everybody was there. We had networking opportunities, had music playing. Like it was really, really good. And I just was just blown away. Like, honestly, I was so proud of her, because it took a lot of hard work and dedication. And the ladies were so inspired by it, so fueled by it, that they started a whole group chat for it. And the group chat is still popping right now. Like, it was just an overwhelming experience, and an overwhelming amount of great information. So the ladies, I feel they really like received a lot. I know I did. I was taking a lot of notes myself. And yeah, it was really, really, really amazing. Like, really amazing.
That's dope. It looked really nice too. Just the screenshots and stuff that I was able to see. I know. I like hate to be that person, but like whenever it's the next one, like I definitely be there because I know I missed out.
Definitely gonna be a next one, boo. Definitely. Yeah, this is her heart. You know, that was her brainchild. You know what I'm saying? The brainchild is born, is here. So yeah. As long as she is living, I'm sure she's going to keep them coming. So, but there is going to be a replay soon. So make sure you're following ARTSO Indulge if you're not. And then you'll know like when the replay is so that you can go and get caught up on everything.
Hope you enjoyed the interview with L3XDIVINE. Make sure you hit her up and engage with her on social media if you haven't already. Her handles are right on the screen. She's released a lot of the new music this year, as well as the official Jackson Pollock remix with Andy Reno and a host of others. All of that is available on all streaming platforms, so check that out. If you enjoyed this episode of the Personal Pizza Party Show, leave a comment below, like this video, and subscribe because the next episode will be the last episode of the season, so you don't want to miss it. Like, it's gonna be really good. Okay, don't worry about it. It's gonna be good though. Thank you again for watching and sharing a slice of life with me. I'll see you later.
Feel you ain't average. It just may reveal your savage. It just may reveal your kingdom. Yeah, it just may reveal your status.